Hello and welcome back, and now in this video we are going to actually add our different lazy components. And why I'm calling it all of them are lazy components, because the React is finally added a new feature, a new function inside it, which is a suspense function. The suspense is a new feature inside React in which we can add dynamic imports. Before suspense we were using the React loading. First, if we go back in here inside our developer project, if I go back to my home, so if I click on view count, okay, then you can see this my orders and account are lazy component. We are going to see how they are lazy components. So if we want to go in view component, we do not want to load all of those components inside this page. Like my orders and account should not be rendered in one go. But this my orders and account should give promise, and both of these components will say that, hey, we are going to load later on, because both of them are concurrent. When I'm on my orders, I do not need account, so it should not be rendered. Whenever I click on account, that it should be displayed, and I'm not using my orders, then it should not be rendered. But if you see, both of them are integrated inside view account component. So suspense is a function that will take a callback from a lazy component, okay? And suspense, which is a function, is going to hold that piece of code, that chunk of code, means that chunk of code is for my orders, and that suspense function is going to hold that till we click on my orders. Okay, when we click on my orders, this lazy my order component is going to give a fallback, and then our suspense function is going to render this function. The idea is to saving our application from bad performance issues. But now we are dealing with just two components, account and my orders. Just imagine if we have different components present in here. So application is going to be slowed down, so we need a concurrent programming, just like our React loading. Okay, so we have to receive some promise from our lazy components, which are in this case account and my orders, and then suspense function is going to render that lazy components, account and my orders, when they return their promise. So go in here. So our lazy components are dynamic components, so we need to introduce in here dynamically, and dynamic means they will execute when we want them to execute, when we click on my orders or when we click on my account. So remember, we are on user account tab. Go and cancel all of them. So this is not the default React, and import circular progress from components UI and circular progress. Okay, now it's time to add our lazy components. Const user account tab lazy, and this is going to be error function, and import. So this is the syntax of importing lazy dynamic component, and we are importing it from tab user account tab, and same in the case of user orders tab. Okay, and we are importing it from tab users orders tab. Okay, so lazy function is going to return a promise, okay, and we will be using it with our suspense function inside of React. So go in here and user tab, and in here create div, okay, and which has index, and index is 0, and label is equal to account. Okay, if we go in here, that account label is 0. Okay, whenever we click on view account, that account 0 index will be displayed. And then we're going to call suspense. Okay, and suspense is always going to take a fallback, and we can give it div and just write loading. Okay, if you want to add this circular progress bar, then cancel this and go above in here, const loader. Okay, and this is for JSX, so we need to add parentheses. So in here, create div class name loader style minimum height is equals to ATVH, and inside this div give circular progress bar and give h6, and which is saying loading. Okay, and give this loader inside here. Okay, so suspense function is going to hold this user account when we receive a promise. Okay, so this suspense function should display user account tab. If we haven't received a promise, then we'll be going to take a fallback with loader and we'll say loading. And same in the case of if we go in here, give it 2 in the case of orders, and give it, you say my orders. Okay, and same in the case of this, because this is a lazy component, and give it user orders tab. Now it's fine. Save this, and I'm doing one mistake. I am not importing React and lazy. Okay, from React, and we need to add this user tab as well. So in here, import user tab from tab user tab. And by the way, we have to go one step back. Okay, in here we have to get out from user account, go tab and user tab. Okay, before going further and execute our application, go in here in user account tab. Inside line number 39, where we're talking about address, change the spelling profile with the correct one, profile. Save this, and I think you were corrected when I were talking about address or email. Okay, so good. So close this and go to the user orders, in which you will get an error that user orders is not defined. This is a function, so call it in as const. Save this, cancel, and go back to user tab, and in here I've written again the wrong spelling. Change it E, and active tab E should be removed. Save this. If you have written the right one when I was writing the wrong spelling in here, then very good. Okay, go back in here again. I've saved it, but error is not gone. Go to console and cannot read property date join of undefined, and you can see our date join is still undefined. go in here, go to user account, go in date joint. Okay, so if you go in display date, we need to add profile dot date joint. Okay, I'm going to go in here. Okay, so profile dot date joint is a correct one. Save this, go back, and now you can see in here, if we press view count again, okay, so this is our user account. If we go into my orders, then you can see we go in here console, because there is nothing inside our orders. Okay, and this feature will not going to run unless we add orders, unless we place orders. Okay, so go in here and go to account home. So we should add orders, we should add products here when we check out, and when we place orders, then this my orders will be displayed. Okay, go back. So we have added our lazy components inside it. Save the file. Okay, now we have completed our user account, okay, or account tab, and then in the next video we will be talking about our edit account. Okay, whenever we click on edit, we should be inside this screen. Okay, then our account will be completed. So let's have a quick break, and then we will be talking about our edit account.